When 006 reached the rig, he climbed up one of the towers. He needed to change out of his wetsuit. He went into an empty cabin, found some clothes just his size, and put them on. Suddenly, the guard whose cabin he was searching came in. Everything went dark. 006 woke up with his hands tied behind his back. His head was throbbing. He was apparently in some kind of control room. In the room were Otto Krugerrand, Slowjob, Mala, and the guard whose clothes he was wearing. A beautiful woman whose hands were also tied was lying beside him. She was Pick Wells, an American agent 006 had met in Washington. 006 glanced at his watch. The explosive device he'd put on the rig was timed to explode in 40 minutes. "Welcome, Commander Fleming. We've been expecting you," Otto said, smiling. "Unfortunately, we won't have time to show you around. Slowjob will take you to feed the sharks. They must be very hungry by now." Slowjob escorted them to Krugerrand's private apartment. One wall was made of thick glass. Behind it, 006 could see the dark shapes of the sharks swimming around. Slowjob pushed the two agents up a spiral staircase to a platform above the shark tank. He was careful to keep his gun trained on them all the time. "You wouldn't refuse us a last cigarette, would you, Slowjob?" 006 asked. "I don't smoke," Slowjob grinned. "And you shouldn't either. It's bad for your health." "Now, come on, Slowjob. There are some cigarettes and a lighter in my jacket pocket." "Okay, but don't try anything." Slowjob reached into 006's pocket and took out the cigarettes and lighter. He took one cigarette out of the pack, pushed it into 006's mouth, and put the pack back into 006's pocket. Slowjob pressed the lighter with his thumb. The sudden force of the flame took him by surprise. At that moment, 006 kicked him, and his gun fell to the floor. Slowjob tumbled backward and disappeared forever into the tank of sharks. The lighter had dropped to the floor and was still burning. 006 was able to burn through the ropes that held his hands. He quickly untied Pick, who picked up Slowjob's gun. "We don't have much time," he said. "Can you fly a helicopter?" "With my eyes closed," she replied. "Good. Let's go." 006 and Pick tiptoed into the control room where Otto and Mala still were. Paratov had joined them. 006 fired the lighter at the control panel, which exploded and burst into flames. Otto tackled 006, and the lighter flew out of his hand. Mala and Paratov desperately tried to put out the flames. Pick pointed the gun at Mala, Otto, and Paratov, and ordered them to lie on the floor. Then she and 006 ran out of the room, locking it behind them. They ran up to the helicopter pad and quickly climbed into the helicopter. The helicopter soared into the sky. A few seconds later, there was a massive explosion as the rig blew up.